First and foremost, I'd like to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim, Rokah, Kodash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone that rule well, and a sincere salutation to you, Akim, and you, Akwet, that believe in all sincerity. So as you see here on your screen, it's not for the weak. Woman appears spiritually broken after sleeping with 100 men in one day. And as you see on the video, there's actually a flyer, okay, that you can apply to be a part of this, okay? It says 1,000 men, but I believe it's 100 in 24 hours, okay? At the bottom, it says, be a part of the record-breaking event of the year, January 2025. And I want to invoke some thought, okay, about this because, this is extremely wicked. And there's an account in the book of Judges, the 19th chapter, that somewhat correlates to this, and I want to bring it out. So let's get this in Judges 19. Lord willing, this will be edifying. It says, and it came to pass in those days when there was no king in Israel, that there was a certain Levite sojourning on the side of Mount Ephraim, who took to him a concubine out of Bethlehem, Judah. And his concubine played the whore against him, and went away from him unto her father's house to Bethlehem, Judah, and was there 4 whole months. Now, as you see in the NLT, it says, but she became angry with him and returned to her father's home in Bethlehem after about 4 months, okay? And what you can extrapolate from this is that what it says, played the whore, okay? She basically became, haughty, okay, rebellious, okay? And truth be told, that's what women do, okay, when they're about to, commit adultery, okay? Now, let's get this, Proverbs 7:11, to prove that point. She is loud and stubborn, her feet abide not in her house. You see, she is loud and stubborn, and her feet abide not in her house. So, as it says here in the NLT in the second verse, but she became angry with him and returned to her father's home in Bethlehem after about 4 months. So she hadn't even been with this Levite, okay, that long, only about 4 months. And what did she do? She became angry and stubborn, and her feet abode not in her husband's house. She went back to her father's house, and women do that. Women do that, okay? When they want to, run the streets, okay? Now it says here in the book of Amos 7:17, therefore thus saith Yahweh, thy wife shall be an harlot in the city, and thy sons and thy daughters shall fall by the sword, and thy land shall be divided by line, and thou shalt die in a polluted land, and Israel shall surely go into captivity forth of his land. Okay, now, when you look up this word, shall be an harlot.
Strong's H2181. Zana. Zana.
Right, play the harlot. Act as a harlot. To play the harlot, right? So she was stubborn, loud, angry. She was playing, like a harlot. After 4 months, she took off. What woman does that? Having just been married, right? We know sex is marriage. Okay, or we know that when a man lays with a woman, that becomes his woman. All right, but after 4 months, she takes off. So she was playing the harlot, and a lot of women do that, man. They get angry, okay, and they take off to their parents' house, and really they just being harlots in the city, man, in the streets. Right, Amos 7:17, that word, city, right? Thy wife shall be an harlot in the city. When you look up that word city, what does it say? City, town, a place of walking, guarded, city, town, right? Or walking up and down the street, looking, to see what they can get into, what they can find. All right. So now let's go back, because You got to read these scriptures with understanding. You got to spiritually extrapolate what's going on. And this is all going to tie together, but let me just continue reading. It says, and her husband arose and went after her to speak friendly unto her and to bring her again, having his servant with him and a couple of asses. So she was acting the harlot, but she didn't actually do anything. Okay, yet. All right, because it says he went after her to speak to her friendly unto her and to bring her again, right? To get her back. How oftentimes do you fight with a woman only to get her back, right? Just when all things seem lost, but you speak friendly to her to get her back, okay, peaceably, okay, because if she had done something, he couldn't have gone back with her. This is Jeremiah 3:1. They say, if a man put away his wife and she go from him and become another man's, shall he return unto her again? Shall not that land be greatly polluted? But thou hast played the harlot with many lovers, yet return again to me, saith Yahweh. You see, so him speaking peaceably unto her, okay, friendly unto her, was to get her back because she had not been another man. Because if she did, she would be greatly polluted, right? It says, but thou hast played the harlot with many lovers, yet return again to me, saith Yahweh. Okay, so Israel has worshipped many gods in the sight of the Most High. Okay, and yet, Israel wants to turn back to the Most High. You see? And, the scriptures we just read, that thy wife shall be a harlot in the city. So that's basically like a curse unto the Israelite man, that his woman be a harlot in the city, okay? Because we were a harlot to the Most High, okay? So it's interesting. It says, shall not that land be greatly polluted? Okay, if she had been with it says even with one man, okay? But this woman, all right, she was with 100 men in one day. And what does she say? It's not for the weak. And when this man right here on the left, at the upper left, when he asks her questions, she seems to be hurt. She's crying in this video. And you can look it up. I'm not going to play it because it's just repulsive, man. And a lot of people aren't going to like this, but it is what it is. And she says, I don't know if I recommend it, but she appears to be distraught. Okay. And that's because she's been polluted with, greatly polluted. Okay. But let's go back to this account in the book of Judges 19. Okay. So the concubine played the whore against him and goes back to her father after 4 months. All right, now let's continue. It says, and after her husband arose and went after her to speak friendly unto her and to bring her again, having his servant with him and a couple of asses, and she brought him into her father's house. And when the father of the damsel saw him, he rejoiced to meet him. You see, so the father was basically he was happy to see him and to meet him. And his father-in-law, you see, the damsel's father, retained him, and he abode with him 3 days. So they did eat and drink and lodge there. So the father was basically keeping, okay, the Levite there at his house. Okay, I want to jump down, okay, and get to the point because I'm gonna tie it all together. And you can read this when you get a chance, but let's pick it up at 10. Judges 19:10. But the man would not tarry that night, but he arose up and departed and came over against Jebus. Okay, because the concubine's father was basically detaining the man, but the Levite, he was like, man, I gotta go. Right? It says, but the man would not tarry that night, but he rose up and departed and came over against Jebus, which is Jerusalem. And there were with him, 2 asses saddled, his concubine also with him. And when they were by Jebus, the day was far spent, and the servant said unto his master, Come, I pray thee, and let us turn into this city of the Jebusites and lodge in it. And his master said unto him, We will not turn aside hither into the city of a stranger that is not of the children of Israel. We will pass over to Gibeah. Okay, so the Levite, they want to lodge in the Jebusite city. He's like, let's pass over that city and go into an Israelite city, which is Gibeah. And he said unto his servant, Come and let us draw near to one of these places to lodge all night in Gibeah or in Ramah. And they passed on and went their way, and the sun went down upon them when they were by Gibeah, which belonged to Benjamin. And they turned aside thither to go in and to lodge in Gibeah. And when he went in, he sat him down in the street of the city, for there was no man that took them into his house to lodging. Okay, so they finally get to an Israelite city named Gibeah. Okay, and they basically stopped, to spend the night. But no one took them in for the night. It says, And behold, there came an old man from his work out of the field at even, which was also of Mount Ephraim, and he sojourned in Gibeah, but the men of the place were Benjamites. Okay, so NLT, that evening an old man came home from his work in the fields. He was from the hill country of Ephraim, but he was living in Gibeah, where the people were from the tribe of Benjamin. And when he had lifted up his eyes, he saw a wayfaring man in the street of the city, and the old man said, Whither goest thou, and when comest thou? So the old man that came out of the field basically asked the Levite, where are you from? Where are you going? And he said unto him, We are passing from Bethlehem toward the side of Mount Ephraim. From thence I am, and I went to Bethlehem, but I am now going to the house of Yahweh, and there is no man that receiveth me to house. All right, NLT on the right, we have been in Bethlehem in Judah. The man replied, We are on our way to a remote area in the hill country of Ephraim, which is my home. I traveled to Bethlehem, and now I'm returning home, but no one has taken us in for the night. Okay, back in the KJV, Yet there is both straw and provender for our asses, and there is bread and wine also for me, and for thy handmaid, and for the young man which is with thy servants, there is no want of anything. So he's basically saying, we have everything we need. We don't need anything. And the old man said, Peace be with thee, howsoever let all thy wants lie upon me, only lodge not in the street. So basically the old man said, come stay with me. Don't worry about it. I got you. Don't stay in the street. So he brought him into his house and gave provender unto the asses, and they washed their feet and did eat and drink. Now, as they were making their hearts merry, okay, behold, the men of the city, certain sons of Belial. Let's get this word Belial, because this is where the story gets interesting. All right, Belial.
Strong's H 1100. Belial. Belial.
Worthless, good for nothing, unprofitable, base fellow, wicked. All right, some wicked men. Okay, circle the house round about, and beat at the door, and spake to the master of the house, the old man, saying, Bring forth the man that came into the house, that we may know him. So they wanted to have sex with him, as it says here in the NLT on the right. And the master of the house, went out unto them and said unto them, Nay, my brother, nay, I pray you, do not so wickedly, seeing that this man is come into my house. Do not this folly. Okay. Behold, here is my daughter, a maiden, and his concubine. Them will I bring out now, and humble ye them, and do with them what seemeth good unto you, but unto this man do not so vile a thing. Okay. Now, it's interesting that when it refers to having sex with a woman, it always speaks about humbling them. All right. Now we're tying it all together. And truth be told, when you have intercourse with a woman, it seems to it brings them into subjection. The act itself brings somewhat, some pain, especially when the woman is a virgin, right? Let's just be honest. And that's the thing. A lot of Israelites don't want to be honest in about this word. Okay. This word, as the scriptures say, is filled with lamentation, mourning, and woe. Okay. So we're just bringing out the truth. It says, Them will I bring out now, and humble ye them, and do with them what seemeth good unto you, but unto this man do not so vile a thing. So he's basically saying to the men of the city of Gibeah, okay, which were Benjamites, he's like, I'll give you my daughter, and I'll give you this man's concubine. Just don't, want to have XES with this man. But the men would not hearken to him. So the man took his concubine and brought her forth unto them, and they knew her, and abused her all the night until the morning. And when the day began to spring, they let her go. All right. Now, NLT, but they wouldn't listen to him. So the Levite took hold of his concubine and pushed her out of the door. The men of the town abused her all night, taking turns raping her until morning. Finally, at dawn, they let her go. Okay. Now, when you jump to Judges 20 real quick, it says, fourth verse, and the Levite, the husband of the woman that was slain, answered and said, I came into Gibeah that belongeth to Benjamin, I and my concubine, to lodge. And the men of Gibeah rose against me and beset the house round about upon me by night, and thought to have slain me and my concubine. No, let me read that again. It says, and beset the house round about upon me by night, and thought to have slain me. And my concubine have they forced, that she is dead. Okay, so the sons of Belial, okay, the Benjamites of Gibeah, the worthless, wicked men, they thought to slay the man and force the woman, okay, to the point that she died. They basically raped her to death. Okay, now, Lord willing, this doesn't get flagged. This is Judges 19. Let's go back. '26th verse. Then came the woman in the dawning of the day, and fell down at the door of the man's house where her Lord was, till it was light. Okay. NLT on the right. At daybreak, the woman returned to the house where her husband was staying. She collapsed at the door of the house and lay there until it was light. And her Lord rose up in the morning and opened the doors of the house and went out to go his way. And behold, the woman, his concubine, has fallen down at the floor of the house, and her hands were upon the threshold. All right. Now, I looked up that word threshold. I want to show you what it is. Images. I saw a picture of it earlier. Let's see. The closest one that I could. There was a good picture. Door threshold. Let's see if I can. This is somewhat of a good picture. This would be the threshold. This piece right here at the bottom. Okay. So the woman basically collapsed with her hands on this part. Okay, of the door. As you see, the gray part, that would be considered the threshold. Okay. So the scriptures are descriptive. This part, the wooden part, you see that? That's where the woman's hands, she collapsed and her hands were on that part. In this case, the cement part, you see that? That's where she collapsed, okay? It says, And he said unto her, Up, and let us be going. But none answered. Then the man took her up upon an ass, and the man rose up and gat him unto his place. And when he was coming to his house, he took a knife and laid hold on his concubine and divided her together with her bones into 12 pieces and set her into all the coasts of Israel. Okay. 28 verse on the right, he said, Get up, let's go. But there was no answer. So he put her body on his donkey and took her home, because she had gave up the ghost. When he got home, he took his knife and cut his concubine's body into 12 pieces. Then he sent one piece to each tribe throughout all the territory of Israel. Okay, 30th verse. And it was so that all that saw it said, There was no such deed done nor seen from the day that the children of Israel came up out of the land of Egypt unto this day. Consider of it, take advice, and speak your minds. Okay, now I bring up the story, okay, to basically correlate it to this. Okay, now this woman was enforced, but nonetheless, okay, these men took their turn on her, just like in this story. Okay, and in the 20th verse, Israel actually goes to war with Benjamin for doing this. You see, this reads Judges 20:6. And I took my concubine and cut her in pieces and sent her throughout all the country of the inheritance of Israel, for they have committed lewdness and folly in Israel. You see, so what the men did to that woman was lewdness and folly, because it was more than one. Behold, ye are all children of Israel. Give here your advice and counsel. You see, just like it said in the 19th verse at the bottom. Okay, consider of it, take advice, and speak your minds. So, this is madness. This is folly. Okay, if in Israel, they took turns on a woman, and forced her that she died, how much more deserving is this woman who did it willingly? And that's the point. Okay, it says women appear spiritually broken. Well, of course, she got humbled over and over and over again, and that's straight lewdness and folly, as it says here, for they have committed lewdness and folly in Israel. This is what's going on in the world today. I say all that to say this. This is what's going on in the world today.
Strong's H2154. Zema.
Right.
Zema.
This is that word lewdness, plan, device, wickedness, evil plan, mischievous purpose, plan, purpose, evil device, wickedness, not chaste, incest, licentiousness, adultery, idolatry, harlotry. That's lewdness. You see, and that's an evil plan. What you ain't got nothing to do. It says at the bottom, you can see, be a part of the record-breaking event of the year, January 2025. That's her plan for 2025. Or no, excuse me. She wants to try 1,000 men in 24 hours in January 2025. So she's setting up another one. Wow. Okay, I got it. I thought they misplaced a 0 in men. But wow, as you can see, yeah, okay, this woman would have been cut up in pieces. She would have been divided in pieces, man. I'm going to just say that. And Lord willing, this don't get flagged. But if it does, oh well. As it says here, Judges 27, Behold, ye are all children of Israel. Give here your advice and counsel. Yeah, what should be done about this? Okay, Judges 20:13. Now therefore deliver us the men, the children of Belial, which are in Gibeah, that we may put them to death and put away evil from Israel. But the children of Benjamin would not hearken to the voice of their brethren, the children of Israel. And there are actually 3 wars, okay, 2 which the Benjamites slaughter, okay, the tribes, the Israelites, and the 3rd they actually lose, all right, in the 20th chapter, because they don't want to give up the sons of Belial. But that's the story, okay? They wanted vengeance upon those men of Belial, the Benjamites of Gibeah. Okay, they forced themselves upon that concubine. How much more this, who did it willingly? Okay, so as it says here, consider of it, take advice, and speak your minds. Lord willing, you're edified. I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bashem Yahushai, Bashem Rokakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone that rule well. And a sincere salutation to you, Akim and you, Aqua, that believe in all sincere.